Victor Vogel with Creating a Bad Guy Free Zone. I briefly want to touch base on this statement that is put out that people kill people, guns don't kill people. It's a very simplistic thought process. It's an incomplete thought process. So let me begin by showing you a brief analogy of that I made in a video here. So let's take a look at that for just a second.
Okay, this is a pen. It's on the desk. Like a gun, it is an inanimate object. It does nothing until I pick it up and write with it. Now, if I have this tremendous urge to write and it's sitting right there in front of me and very accessible, and I want to write right now, I can reach down and pick this up and start writing anything I would like to write. Now, let's make this even more interesting. Let's put this other pen down here that happens to be better. It writes longer, it writes faster. It allows me to have a sense of control, a lot more control, and I can do a lot more with this pen. So which one of these would I take to write with? It would obviously be this more powerful, enhanced pen. So I can write faster, or I can write more with it, or I can write more intelligently with it. I know that's kind of a silly analogy, but they're both there. And maybe there's a possibility that I might use this to write faster and follow up, if this runs out of ink, with this one and write a little faster. So now what's interesting is let's take both of those off of the table. Now I have this tremendous urge right now to go write something, but there's nothing for me to write with. I can't write. I can't write at that moment where it's intense. I might have to ask somebody about where I could get a pen to write with, or I might have to search for a pen to write with. I may have to go into drawers that maybe are locked and have a pen in them, but I can't get to them. So there's an analogy. Yes, people kill people. Guns also kill people. They're the instrument or tool that people choose to kill with, and they are more devastating than most other tools when you kill with them. So now, if it's not accessible, at least I would have to look harder, and maybe I would be thwarted from doing that killing initially. If it's very hard to find those pens, I can't find them hardly anywhere without going through somebody and talking to them about what I want to do, then it makes it even harder for me to write. The same is true about a gun. If it's not accessible, it's harder to get the shooting done at that point in time you want to do it. So just a quick thought about, yeah, the accessibility does matter. Okay, this is a pen.
So as you can tell, that's a very incomplete statement. Now, the analogy is designed to show you why accessibility is critical here. First of all, let's readdress the statement, people kill people, guns don't kill people. The minute the gun truly is an inanimate object, if you did touch it, nothing happens. But the minute you pick it up, it becomes the extension of the person. Therefore, the gun and the person kill people. That's the way you need to think about it. Why is that critical? One, the gun, particularly speaking semi-automatic handguns and rifles, are far more effective way of killing people than a knife, a club, or other tools. They're targeted for that. They have targeting systems and sight systems on them for targeting. They keep the opponent at a distance to the individuals. who are shooting, so therefore it's more difficult to stop them from shooting. They're efficient from the standpoint that you can deliver several rounds in a short period of time, and you can reload them extremely quickly, as opposed to even, say, a six-shooter. Most average people who have cylinder six-shot rounds handgun would find it extremely difficult to reload six shots before somebody could charge them and target them. That's not true with a semi-automatic weapon. You simply press a button, a clip drops, and another clip goes in less than a second. In most cases, 2 seconds for an inexperienced person to change those clips. So the problem here with accessibility is if I want to do a mass shooting, and I have readily accessible to me semi-automatic weapons versus a club, a knife, or any other thing that you might want to use to kill people, it's a lot easier, and it's a lot more efficient for me to select those weapons because they're accessible, whether they're in the home or whether I can buy them, or at a gun store, or even more easily I can go buy them at a gun show, okay, where I don't have to prove anything to anybody. In fact, in Oklahoma City, there was a gun show that happened, and some police officers were working undercover on some gang members who actually purchased a gun at a gun show, got in their car, and then the police had probable cause because of a taillight being out to stop them, and found the 2 guns they purchased at the gun show. Of course, being felons, it was illegal for them to have them. The guy sold them those guns, certainly was in a good deal of trouble, even though he legally could sell the gun. He sold a gun to a felon. So he didn't know they were felons, but he didn't check either. So there you go. So, this is the scenario we have here. We have a situation where accessibility does mean something. So taking guns out of people's hands, making them inaccessible to start with, since until the systems are in place, maybe you can convert it back, but until the systems are in place to identify people who can't have guns and efficiently and effectively work, the most efficient way then to prevent what I was discussing, and that is the gun becomes an extension of the person, therefore does kill people, is to just not make those semi-automatic weapons available to people. Okay? That's just a thought. And, it's not a matter of rights. Certainly you have the right to buy it. It's a matter of, hey, this can save lives. Until we can get the systems working in place that work it, then you can change it back. So it's kind of like your kid. If your kid is continually going after something, you can't watch them all the time, then maybe you eliminate what they're going after. And then you don't have to worry about it so much until they grow up and they can learn on their own that they shouldn't be asking for that or getting that. So you also use the same analogy when you tell parents to check the internet. Okay, if the child is into the internet stuff they shouldn't be, you block them and you eliminate the internet. You don't block the internet from them, but you block that part of the internet that it's inappropriate and they shouldn't see. That's no different with guns. Let's not be providing people guns that make it effective and efficient to kill people in masses. Okay? You have a good day. I hope this may provide some insight to you.